Welcome to the Sotheby's Australia October auction of fine furniture and decorative arts. Held over 3 evenings, this magnificent collection includes over 400 lots of Australian, English and European furniture, sculpture and works of art, and more than 250 lots of Chinese and Japanese works of art. It is our unique privilege to offer the historic 1867 Melbourne Cup and the 1867 Queen's Plate. The 2 trophies are of enormous historical significance, not only as remarkable survivals from the early years of Australian professional horse racing and of the Melbourne Cup in particular, but also as significant memorials of the 1860s assertion of colonial craftsmanship and industry against the commercial power of Imperial Britain. Won by the same horse, Tim Whiffler, and trained by Etienne de Maistre, who also trained the famous archer, both cups have remained in the same family for over 144 years. This auction will be the first time the 2 cups have been available publicly, and both are to be auctioned as one lot at the request of the owners. The great furniture designer and woodcarver Robert Prenzel migrated to Australia as a young man in 1888. By the turn of the century, and deeply impressed by the stylistic developments showcased at the Paris Exposition of 1900, he began to adopt the whiplash tendrils and sinuous asymmetries of the Art Nouveau movement. Prenzel was one of the first craftsmen to embrace both Australian timbers and Australian flora and fauna in the production of his commissioned works. The present suite, comprising a wardrobe, dressing table and washstand, incorporates carved gum trees with blossoms, nuts and long pointed leaves, waratahs and a charming high-relief figure of a kookaburra. A rare integrated setting by this most important of early 20th century designer craftsmen, the Davies Suite typifies the Australian accented Art Nouveau, of which Robert Prenzel was both pioneer and master.
One of the most historically resonant objects in the sale is this handsome gold Regency pocket watch by the London maker James McCabe. Like the famous Minton pottery peacock that now stands at Flagstaff Hill, Warrnambool, this artefact is a rare and poignant reminder of Victoria's greatest maritime tragedy, the June 1878 wreck of the iron clipper ship, the Lockard. More than 50 people drowned that wet, cold, foggy, rough winter's morning in 1878. Only 2 survived, the young colonial apprentice sailor Tom Pearce and the Irish immigrant doctor's daughter Eva Carmichael. And their romantic tale of survival and rescue quickly became a colonial sensation and later an Australian legend. The significance of the watch is that it belonged to Eva's father and that it was found on the body of her mother, which was one of the few that was washed up ashore after the disaster. Eva, years later, gave it to her husband, and it has descended through the family. It still keeps time, and in it, time stands still.
We're delighted to be offering 3 private collections formed during the 1960s and 1970s in our October auction of Asian arts. 2 collections comprise of Chinese ceramics and works of art, and the third is largely of Chinese and Japanese ivory carvings. In addition, from various owners, there's a large selection of jade and bamboo carvings, lacquer and bronze works of art, as well as ceramics, snuff bottles, and paintings. Among the ceramics are several pieces from the Song, Yuan, and Ming dynasties, including an impressive Longchuang celadon jar carved with auspicious characters beneath the attractive sea green glaze, and a large 15th century Longchuang celadon barbed rim dish. From the Qing dynasty are several famille verte, dotesai, and blue and white wares, including a Yongzheng period famille verte saucer dish, delicately painted with the famous Han Dynasty statesman and explorer Zhang Qiang, seated on a log raft, floating over crested waves. And there's this blue and white Qianlong Marken period dragon dish, as well as a selection of monochromes, pieces, and famille rose wares. Amongst the many Chinese ivory carvings is a set of the 8 Immortals, Each figure is depicted in an animated pose, standing on a sea creature and shown holding their attributes. Also impressive are a pair of standing figures of an emperor and empress, 67 centimeters tall, and an even taller figure of the immortal Lanchai Her at 77 centimeters. The Japanese ivories include several figural okimono, including one of a basket seller, carrying numerous baskets, drums, and other wares, and it's signed Toshimasa. And there's a large cylindrical vase carved with peacocks, geese, and flowers, signed Sawa Yoshiaki. The various Chinese works of art include an unusual composite rhinoceros horn bowl of solid form, carved with flowering lotus, and a large number of jade carvings, including several of animals, small plaques, belt hooks, and other archaistic pieces and landscape carvings.
The Trumeau cabinet is the best known and represented piece of furniture in the Fornasetti range. The piece is a cross between a sideboard, a bar, and a bureau. It was originally designed by Gio Ponti, but then modified by Fornasetti, who preferred, for production purposes, to make it look more square and less affected, removing all traces of a 1950s style. Architectural in design, with its trompe-l'oeil decoration, it is both pleasing to the eye and functional of form. I hope you've enjoyed this special preview of our forthcoming fine Asian, Australian, and European decorative arts and furniture auction. We look forward to welcoming you to our Melbourne gallery from the 20th to the 23rd of October.